This field here is about 5.5 acres. Now I've videoed every time I put the sheep in here last year from the middle of April and made a video of that, and I'm going to do the same this year. So there's been no sheep in here actually since the beginning of October, and the grass grew pretty well in October and into November, and then it stopped in December. We had a cold spell and it actually went away. There was more grass here probably the end of November than what there is now, but it has sort of been my plan to leave it till now, and it's sort of in stockpile situation. So instead of making silage, which I could have done with a field, maybe not this one but another field, and feeding them the silage, I sort of left the grass in situ, and there's a fair bit here, and so there's 56 sheep there, and they're going to come in, and I've given them, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to give them sort of a quarter of an acre a day, but I fenced it here now, and I'm going to give them a bit more than that for the first day and just see how it goes. There it goes. It's the 6th of February today, and I've been here for 5 days. This is where I've moved them into on the 1st. They were here for a day, and so they came out 4 days ago, and you can see the regrowth. A couple of inches. So 24th of February now, and I put the sheep out last night, and this is the spot where they were now 10 days ago, and pretty good regrowth on that, pretty pleased with that. And then you can see the line there, that was 9 days, and then obviously they were out for 4 days into the field next door, which is only an acre. I put them out there because it was wet. I brought them back again, and they've done 4 more days. So this was 4 days ago they came out of here, and you can see the regrowth there. We've actually had a little bit of frost last night. It's not been warm. We've had maybe days get into almost 10, but average probably 7 or 8. Nighttime temperatures have been probably 4, but we did have a frost last night. So then this was 3 days ago. I'm picking the fence up now, so I haven't quite finished that yet. I've moved them to the next field. I've actually given them an acre, sorry, half an acre on the next field. It's not quite so much grass in there, but this was 1/4 acre patches a day in this field. So this was 2 days ago, and yeah, you can see there's a regrowth, not a lot. And then they were in here overnight the night before last, and we had 18 mil of rain while they were in this bit, and they pretty trampled it down. They haven't eaten it. It's probably the last bit of the field. It's probably a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an acre, this last bit. Trying to see if I can see any regrowth here. Not really. But then the last bit, they were here last night, so I put them into this bit this time yesterday, and they came out last night. This was the last bit they were in on, so they haven't ate these 2 bits down quite as well. But just for interest, if I just walk down across the field here, I got to try and work out what day this was, but I'm pretty sure they were on this bit here on the 7th day. So probably this 7th or 8th of February, they were on this bit here. Not bad regrowth. And then down here, this was the bit they were on the 1st day, which was the 1st of February. And they're out there now. So here's the line, the difference between the 7th and the 1st. With this wind as well is a pain, but you can see there's a little strip there, and that is where the fence was. And you can just about see where the fence was. And there's a lot less grass. This is really good with the wind. There's a lot less grass where the fence was. That's just interesting, if you can see that without the wind. So the plan was to graze this field, but because we landed a bit later, the sheep didn't get here in time, and it got a bit too far away. And I did graze a little bit of it, so that top half there has been grazed about 10 days ago, and around the top, so they went out into that field there and out into that field. So I have grazed around the top, but most of this field is sort of 5 acre field, so it's probably about 3.5, nearly 4 acres that we're going to be cutting for silage. And it's so sheep haven't been in here since the end of February, and it's the 17th of May, and the grass is around about 2 foot tall. So it's not quite, the ryegrass is not quite coming to head yet. Some of the meadow grasses and there's a couple of other grasses that are starting to flower, but took out this piece of ryegrass here, which is pretty standard of what it looks like. So it's got its obviously it's got quite a bit of a stem there now. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 completely full leaves, and there's no sign yet of the flower head coming, but I think that is probably what's coming next rather than another leaf on that one. So this is the right time to cut for silage, and there's quite a lot of clover in here as well, and this is what it looks like. There's some buttercups, there are some docks, we have got docks, and some of the docks are starting to flower, but you know, we can't help that, we've got docks. But yeah, it's had no fertiliser for at least 15 years. And I have cut silage in here before, but I don't do it every year. I probably haven't cut silage in here for about 10 years. So this is the difference. This was grazed for a day, not hard, and then I've topped it as well about 10 days ago, and the grass has recovered really well. It might have been a bit more than 10 days they were on this bit, but you can see the difference where they were. Anyway, we'll see if I can get some footage of the mowing and the baling, but if not, we'll come back again when it's done. Here we are, same field, same day, but it's 5:30 now in the afternoon. Finished cutting about half an hour ago, took about an hour to do it, and yeah, it's all dry, it's looking pretty good. Alright, so I just got here in time to see him finishing up, or well, he's finished actually, just packing up the baler, and he tells me there's 21 bales. I haven't had a look around yet and seen them, but Jack's here now, so he's going to give me a hand and we'll cart them back down the yard. "21st of June today, so it's been over a month since we cut the silage, and you can see there are a few docks flowering, but also a lot of clover flowering. There's not a massive amount of grass, but it has been dry. We've had, until 3 days ago, we hadn't had any rain at all, and we've had 30 mil over the last 3 days, so it has sort of freshened it up a bit now. But anyway, the sheep came in last night. You can see this is the bit where it was cut for silage, and then out there is the bit that we grazed last time, so there's obviously a lot more longer grass there, but they like the shorter stuff better. This has gone a bit too far, but this is just right for them, but they like it, they like this better. But I split this so they've got quite a big piece really. It was raining last night when we put them in here, so that's why I didn't film it, and could have split it in half, but well, I'll just put them in here and leave them for 2 days, and then I'll go the other side. I might split that in half, probably will. So this is where the sheep grazed just over a month ago, and it was topped, and the line here is where we cut and made the silage. So you can see, obviously it's been dry, so it's not been an ideal conditions for recovery. It's been pretty poor, but certainly a lot more biomass of grass compared to between the two. And I did top this after the sheep have been in there, so it's not like that's been cut and that hasn't. They've both been cut. This may be 5 or 6 days before, but obviously this did have rain after I cut it, and this didn't, so there's a difference as well. But the main difference is this didn't have the sheep grazing and putting all the manure back on it again. It's all been taken away. But I'm not going to cut it again this year or next year. We'll let it recover, and we'll see how long we can see this line for, I suppose. Be interesting. Hopefully it will dry up and we'll get that weather back again that we had for the last month. We'll get that for a month now. 30 mil of rain's freshen everything up lovely. 2nd of July today, and been almost exactly same spot here as I was 12 days ago. That's where the sheep have not been, and then this is where the sheep were on the 21st of June. And so it has recovered a bit, and at least it's windy over here, but that's the bit we didn't cut for silage, so it has recovered more. But still, it's not looking bad actually here. That's sheep have been out of that for 12 days, and then they were there 3 days after. They've been out in the other field out there for 3 days, and then been out there for 6 days, and they're going to come back again today. I'm going to bring them back in a minute and put them on this bit. So this is the main bit that we cut for the silage all the way down here. I'm going to split this in half. It's probably about 2.5 acres there. But we've had some rain. Seems like summer's on a bit of a pause for the last 10 days. We've had a couple of nice days, but mostly it's been a bit colder, a bit windier, and we've had some rain. It's freshened everything up, but could do with some summer back again now, please. It's the 11th of August, and sheep are back in this field again. I put them here yesterday afternoon, and I've just given them a very small piece. I haven't actually measured it out, but I'm guessing it's about an 1/8 of an acre, maybe a little bit more. And I've split this little section here into two. This is where they're going to be coming. So this is where we cut the silage in this bit here, and you can see there is a lot of grass now. We've had a lot of rain though. It's been ideal grass growing conditions. We've got lots of clover. There are dogs here still. This is where they're coming up to. So I've got a mineral feeder here now for them, and I have mixed a little bit of chicory seed and some red clover seed in with the minerals a little bit. They're not actually taking them. There's a salt in there as well. They're not taking very much, but just an experiment actually that is, to see if they do pass through the chicory seeds and the red clover. You know, I'll notice if red clover or chicory appears, because there's none in these fields at the moment, and I'm going to be putting them in. The only thing is they are rubbing a bit of black on their heads, but off of it's an old conveyor belt that covers it. But they haven't used it for a while, so it's been in the sun, and now it's flaking off a bit. Anyway, you can see where they've been. They've done a pretty good job of eating that. They've been in there since about 4 or 5 o'clock last night. It's 8 o'clock in the morning now. So I pasted out. It's 21 meters by 27 meters, which is about 560 odd square meters. So the sheep came out of here last night on the 22nd of August, and I've been moving them around the whole field twice a day. They started in that corner down there, and they sort of zigzagged across this way, back through the middle, and then back this way. So this is where they were yesterday, and in fact they came out last night. You can already see there is some regrowth here already. This was probably a bit longer. Well, it was getting longer all the time, and I hadn't given them quite as much, or I'd given them too big a piece really to finish off with, but I didn't split it. I couldn't leave them there for 24 hours, and I couldn't split it, so they had a bit too much. But anyway, as you can see, as we go back, this bit here is where they were about 7 days ago. There's 7 days recovery. We've got some good clover, and I'll head over that way and show you what it was like sort of 4 days ago and 10 or 12 days ago. So this is where they were 5 days ago, and you can see it's good clover recovery, and the grass is looking pretty good as well. And this line just here is not actually where I had the fence this time. That's where we cut the silage line. So on the left we didn't cut silage earlier. That was in May, and obviously so that was 3 months ago, but they've grazed it a couple of times since, but the line's still there, even though I have topped it. And this bit where it's shorter and there is a little bit less recovery, slower recovery obviously, but they are dropping a lot of dung, and so it will gradually get better and better on the recovery. You can still see that line where we cut and where we didn't. If we go down here, this will be the first bit they were in, which I think was 13 days ago, could be 14, I'll check that. So this is what this looks like. Pretty good. And so this is moving them twice a day through this field. So they've been here pretty much 2 weeks, and it's a 5 acre field, and there's 160 sheep there, including the lambs. Anyway, there we go. So we have got a lot of grass everywhere, so it could be a while before they get back here again. But the good thing about September and that is that the grass doesn't tend to run to seed, so this should store now. Whatever grows here should store quite well, and recover quite quickly if we graze it. We might not get to grazing it until the end of September or even October, but I'll keep you informed. So it's the 26th of September, and just brought the all the ewes and lambs back in here again. Still haven't weaned them. Haven't even weighed lambs yet, but there's definitely some here that that could be going. But I got so much grass, and you know, they're not costing me anything to keep, so I'm not worried yet for a bit. Let them get a bit bigger. But anyway, we have got loads of grass everywhere. But yeah, there's loads of grass here. I've given them a bit bigger piece now. This time, there's obviously lambs are eating more now. They're not as big as the ewes. Probably given them about an acre, and I think that will last them at 24 hours at least. So I'm going to see what it's like in 24 hours and then move them then. But that's what I've been doing lately, 24-hour moves, giving them about an acre, and it seems to be about right. But yeah, pretty good clover in here. There are quite a few docks actually starting to flower, so if it's dry enough, I may top after they've been through here, but it is forecast to be pretty wet for the rest of the week. It's not ideal conditions now actually, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I've been really pleased with the amount of grass we got so far this year. Right, it's just the 4th of October now. I've been here for 8 days. They've moved out actually now. They moved out of this part yesterday. I didn't do any filming yesterday, it was so windy. It's a bit stiller today, and that's where they were the 2 days before, and the 2 days before, and this is where they were the second day, and then back down there towards the gate is where they were the first day. And I did top that first patch. As you can see, they have eaten all the docked leaves. It's already starting to regrow again. There's a few heads sticking up still, which probably have got some seeds on it, but you know, I've just got to, there's enough docks here already without worrying about more seed in the ground, I guess. So I did top this bit, but I don't know if it's made it better or worse. Time will tell, I guess. But anyway, there we go. That's what they've left the field looking like. And now they're out in the next field. Same amount of grass out there as there is here, or there was. So it's the it's the last moments of 2023. Somewhere it's in fact the 1st of January here, but the weather yesterday was so windy that I couldn't film anything, so it's a bit stiller today. So here I am. This is the last day recording in this field for this video. Tried to cover everything that happened during the year, and at the moment I got the all the ewe lambs and a few wethers that haven't gone yet in here, moving them every day onto a small patch, about 1/4 of an acre, and there's a fair bit of grass here. It hasn't grown much in the last month or so, but it's there, and they're doing a pretty good job. They're clearing it right out, really. You know, we've had a fair bit of rain, so it's looking pretty rough, but they've been here a week, and this is where they were. This is where they were on the 3rd day, and you can see recovery pretty good already. And in fact, the first day they came in, they weren't actually that hungry because I moved them. I think must have been Boxing Day, and they had a fair bit. They weren't hungry when they came in, but I moved them in here anyway. So they didn't eat this first patch quite so well, but it's recovering, and you can see what it's like here. The rest of the field's pretty much the same as this. There's a few docks here. Obviously we did silage here. It seems a long time ago now, when you're standing here at the end of the year, but yeah, I've covered everything that's happened in this field in 23, and I'm going to do it again for 24. Anyway, interesting for some, I hope. I'll see you directly.